Hi everyone, I'm back again with Giant Slayers where I share kingdom insights for kingdom businesses. Today I want to talk about working with your spouse because today is my wedding anniversary and I think it's a love day. So let's get into it. The first point I want to talk about is friendship. Friendship in business is very important. You see, friends enjoy doing things together. Friends find it very easy to communicate with one another. And can I tell you, in business, you have a lot to talk about. And if you're not friends, it's difficult to even talk about the tough conversations. But when you're friends, it makes communication very effective and very easy to do. There's no suspicion of any kind, and you're just flowing. These I've found has helped myself and my wife in building the business that God has helped us to be stewards within. This is key if you want to build a good and sustainable business with your spouse. The second thing I want to say regarding doing business with your spouse or working together with your spouse in a business is that you have to embrace the days of little beginnings. You have to understand that nothing grows big from the beginning. You have to both work on it until it starts to grow. And as it starts to grow, there are things that you have to work together on to make it sustainable. Embracing the days of little beginnings means that you have to understand that it's not every money you have to spend, and there has to be that line. It's knowing that there are things that you have to give up so that you can build a business, and this will help both of you because you are on the same page to move the business from where it is and to where it's supposed to be. No matter how much money you throw to it, unless you embrace days of little beginning, it may not work. And so both of you have to have that at the back of your mind. Now there is something I have to make clear on this second one. This phase, embracing the days of little beginning, requires that each of you have genuine interest in the relationship. You are in it not for what you will get, but for what you can give. Number 3 is one that many people struggle with. It's embracing the uniqueness of your spouse. You are not the same. And if you have people working in the business, your spouse is not your managers. So for example, you can have a manager who does things the way you like, and under no circumstance should you compare that person with your spouse. It only causes trouble and division. You have to bear in mind that each of you have unique qualities that would make the business grow to the point where you begin to see great impact on the lives of people and the community. This fourth point is very important. Everything that happens in the physical is a manifestation of what you have been doing in the spiritual. And this is my fourth point. Invest in spiritual things with your spouse that is working with you within a business. You must learn how to pray together. You must learn how to praise together. You must learn how to preach together. That is, evangelize to other people within the business, because that's your parish. So you must know how to do these things together for you to actually build a sustainable business together with your spouse. It's very important that you have time that you pray together. You have time that you praise together and worship together, because you are not just any business, you are a kingdom business. The fifth thing you need to do if you're working in a business with your spouse is that both of you have to set boundaries. boundaries of what you do in work against what you do at home. There are things that are permissible in work that are not permissible or should not be taken home. And there are things that are permissible at home that are not allowable in the business. You have to understand this and you have to stick to those boundaries. When those boundaries are crossed, then you begin to bring the business down. And this is not the plan and purpose of God for a kingdom business. The next key is to define roles and responsibilities. You must know who is doing what according to your several abilities. Some people are very good at finances. Some people are good at management. Some are just very good at leadership. And you have to know what each of you are good at and define your roles within the business. Who takes care of the money? It shouldn't be the one that is not prudent. And so when you do this, you give a clear direction on where each person is supposed to be operating, and there's no overlap of roles or wasted energy because you're doing the same thing. For example, in our business, I lead on business development and so on, and my wife takes charge in the quality aspect of the business. And it's very clear, everybody knows where they stand, and this is as important as the business itself. When the roles are not defined, everything goes in disarray. And I must also add that where both of you are not skilled in an area, that is the time to employ somebody to take over that role so that you don't mess up the business development. The seventh point is that you have to develop yourself. Personal development is key to the development of any kingdom business. Yes, you may do spiritual side of it, but personally, you must also develop. You must take short and long courses, both of you, and you must do so in areas also that you need to improve your knowledge and gain more understanding of the sector that you find yourself. As you work together, there are times that you have differences of opinion. There are times that you will think one way and she will think the other way, or he will think one way and she thinks the other way. It's going to happen, no matter how spiritual you are. At this point, I want to advise, never, ever deal with your issues in front of your staff. You must know how to resolve your issues away from the staff, or you will drop your credibility before those that you are leading. Leadership is forced by example, and you must ensure that that example is driven down in every part of your business. Ensure that when you have differences of opinion, you take it away from the business and resolve it as quickly as possible so that it doesn't linger. This is a point a lot of people don't engage in, and it causes stress and burnout. You must create time to rest and rejuvenate. The more the business grows, the more that demands on your time. And even if you have staff, you still have to make certain decisions, and this will require your time. You must understand that there is a time to work and there is a time to rest. Even God rested after He's done all His work. So I encourage you and your spouse to take time to rest. And as you do so, you are much more sound in making sound kingdom business decisions, and also take time to refresh spiritually so that you're not just doing work and leaving God on the side. The 10th one is a very, very important point, and I want you to take note of it. You are blessed to be a blessing. And as you grow, you must create or have a platform by which you reach out to other people, you reach out to your community, you reach out to your church. As the Lord leads you, you must be a blessing to other people. He said, charge them that are rich in this world, that they become distributors. So as the Lord blesses you and your spouse that you work with, you must learn to also give as God gives to you. This is very important. This is very key. You don't eat it all. You give some out so that God can replenish much more where it's coming from. And I want you and your spouse to create at your own level how you can become a blessing. Right, as we get to the end, I want to say thank you for viewing and watching to the end. And I want to thank you for being part of this Giant Slayer series on this love note. The last point I want to give is that you and your spouse must plan for the future. Every time I go talking to people that are advancing in age and I ask them what's the plan for the future, most people don't have one, especially in business. God wants us to plan for the future. The reason why he loves Abraham is because he knows Abraham will be a sustainable generational blessing. And we saw it in Isaac, we saw it in Jacob, and so on and so forth. You must plan for your future. Have a pension plan. Have a way of sustaining your business. It should not die after 2 years. It should not die after you leave. It should continue. So you must put this plan in place, even as you and your spouse steward by privilege the business that God has given to you. I want to say thank you for joining me in this series, and I hope to see you again as we come to you with more kingdom business insights.